Coming up on the Little Ricker Show Football Review, we're going to talk Norrisburg football as they prepare for the playoffs. We got the brackets, get ready for the next couple weeks. Penn State last week, and also the Eagles game we'll go over, plus maybe a little bit more we'll do. But now your host, Will Ricker. Good evening, football fans. Sorry I haven't done a video here over the weekend or whatever, but I wanted to do one here close before the playoffs start. This is Football Review, aka the Little Rickert Show. We're going to go over briefly about the game last week against Carindale. We're going to talk maybe a little Penn State. We're going to talk... we're going to definitely talk about the Eagle game Sunday night against Dallas Cowboys, but let's go over the brackets first. We'll start. First off, we'll go Eastern Conference. It's down to 3 teams now. As Lime Mountain dropped out, so Schuylkill Haven has a bye, and they are going to play for the Class A Eastern Conference Championship next week at Schuylkill Haven. But tomorrow night, 7 o'clock at Bloomsburg, Halifax and Bloomsburg will play for the Eastern Conference semifinals. Then we'll start Class A, District 3. They will play next week because there's 4 teams. So A and AA will have their championship games the 27th. And then you got AAA and Quad A will play their championship game the following week since there's 16 teams. So we'll go number 1 seed, Camp Hill, and they are 6th ranked in the state in Class A, and they are the only Eastern team ranked in the top 10, as the other 9 are from District 6 or 7. Oh, there's one other team, I'm sorry, Old Forge is ranked in the top 10 as well, so there's 8 out of the 10 are Western teams ranked in the state in Class A. And it's going to be a tough, and we'll do a preview of the game next week when we get closer to it. But there's 2 studs for sure. One going to Michigan, which is the quarterback Michael Schuster, and then you got B. Will at running back, who's a speedster, and they got a receiver, a Kuntz kid. That's good too. So you got 3 weapons that Norrisburg has to contend with next week. But they will travel to new and improved Cybert Park, and from what I've seen on TV, the refurbishing of that stadium is phenomenal. I can't wait to check that out in person. But Norrisburg 6-4 against number 1 Camp Hill, and I did my rant on. I think Norrisburg got you're eventually going to have to play them, but 5-5 as second and third seed compared to 6-4, and I totally understand why Steel High and New York Catholic are rated ahead but come on, still 6-4 is 6-4, 5-5 is 5-5. This isn't college football, where now you got a committee and they're really talking strength of schedule, and there's a 1-loss team in the top 4 in college football, which is Alabama, and there's a bunch of undefeateds on the outside looking in. But number 2, Steel High is hosting New York Catholic next Friday too. But I'm not gonna rant. I did my rant a couple weeks ago on that. AA, number 1, Wyomissing. They will host. This is tomorrow night, Saturday afternoon. They will play Saturday afternoon, and they will host number 8 Hamburg 5-5. That game will be set at Wyomissing, but if it's an inclement weather game, if it's raining or whatever, they'll move it to Governor Mifflin and play a night game tomorrow night. At Hanover, number 4 Hanover 9-1. They will take on number 5 Biglerville at 7-3. Number 2, Berks Catholic, 9-1. They will take on number 7 seed Inville Cleon at 6-4. And then number 3, Newport, the Tri Valley League champs. They will host number 6 Boiling Springs, who are 6-4. Then we'll go to AAA. And there's some interesting matchups, and I will give you three. I will give you two teams to keep an eye on, and that's Susquehanna Township and Northern Lebanon. Palmyra started out hot. They could be, and that's another team to keep an eye on, but definitely Northern Lebanon and Susquehanna Township. I don't think McDevitt's a runaway going to win the district title, but they're 9-1. They will host 16 seed Milton Hershey. Number 8 Northern York. They are the 8 seed, 7-3 against number 9 York Suburban at 8-2. At Solenko, number 4 Solenk 9-1 against number 13 Shippensburg 7-3. At Lampeter Stroudsburg, 5 seed LS 8-2 against number 12 Palmyra. That could be interesting. And another interesting game, Roy Wall, coach of Millersburg, he has a district title at his belt. Back-to-back section champs. They would be 10-0, but they had to forfeit because they used an eligible player, so they had to forfeit the first 2 games. They are playing lights out, and if they win, I would like to see a Northern Lebanon and Susquehanna Township match. That would be awesome. They travel to Northeastern. They're 8-2. And then the 7-10 game at Susquehanna Township, number 7 Susquehanna Township 7-3 against number 10 Conrad Weiser. And Conrad Weiser's pulled upsets before they did last year, I believe. Number 3 Manheim Central 8-2 against number 14 Big Spring 5-5, and then East Pennsboro. They're another team to keep. This matchup's an intriguing one as well. And whoever wins this game could make some noise. Number 6, East Pennsboro, 8-2, Todd Studer's team. They will host number 11, Middletown. So there's some intriguing teams in AAA, and I don't think Bishop McDevitt's an overwhelming favorite. Although I think they probably are a favorite, but I wouldn't make them the overwhelming. And then we move to Quad A. Number 1, Central Dauphin, 9-1 against 16 seed Carlisle. They're 5-5. At Hershey Park Stadium, number 8 Lower Dauphin 8-2. Rob Clark's team against number 9 Cedar Cliff. They're 8-2. At Manheim Township, number 4 Manheim Township 8-2 will take on number 13 Governor Mifflin at 6-4. At Hempfield on Friday, number 5 Hempfield 8-2 against number 12 seed Southwestern 7-3. At Wilson, number 2 Wilson 9-1. They will take on number 15 seed Harrisburg 5-5. At Dallastown, number 7 Dallastown 9-1 against number 10 CD East. At Exeter, number 3 Exeter 10-0 against number 14 seed Cedar Crest. And then at Cumberland Valley, 8-2 Cumberland Valley, they are 6 seed against number 11 Red Lion. I think it's going to probably come down to Central Dauphin Wilson again. And then one other local, District 11, number 1 seed Tri Valley. They're coming off lost to Newport. They're 8-2. They will take on the number 4 seed Williams Valley. So there you have it. Now we'll go back to last week. We'll talk about the game last week. 7-6 Millersburg beat Kennerdale. From the second quarter on, Millersburg just dominated pretty much both sides of the ball, but couldn't cash in until the third quarter on an Tyler Erdman run. And he has been phenomenal the last few weeks running the football. Running for almost close to 600 yards in the 3-game stretch. Definitely close to 400 the last 2 against Upper Dauphin and including Cannondale. He's just done a phenomenal job. But in order to beat Camp Hill next week, they're gonna have to play probably the best game of the year. if there's any animosity on the squad, they got to get rid of it and come together and play the best they can play. And I think, and this is my opinion, I might be crazy. I think as a collective, I said this beginning of the year, Norrisburg has the best skill, has the best collection of skills in the league, as you have numerous weapons. Uh, there's not a standout. Obviously, not like we're not phenomenal like B. Williams, Schuster, and Kuntz. But as a collective group, I think we're as good as anybody. But it's going to come down to the attitude, uh, and playing the way they're capable of. That's what it's going to come down. And also the line play is going to be key. If they want to pull off the upset, it may not be. Obviously, it may not be enough. But I think, but we just have to come. But I think the key is we got to. If we can't score the first quarter, it might be all she wrote and pretty much over. So we're gonna have. It's the key is to have a good start, come out to a fast start, and sustain it for 4 quarters. That's probably gonna be the key. Now, if you can hold them, now if we can hold them 7-6 at half or something like last week, you might have something. But I don't believe that's gonna happen. But there are some critical the consistency in the play has we can't make major mistakes. That's all. So that's one of the key factors. We'll get more into that next week. We're gonna take a break, and when we come back, we're gonna talk Penn State, the disappointing game against Northwestern, and we'll talk Eagles, Cowboys, and maybe some other sports and all that. This is the Low Record Show, Low Record Network, aka Football Review. We'll see you in a couple minutes.